Celibacy.
Yeah.
So, my boy Malick here has made the smart choice of being celibate, and I'm intrigued in your reasons of doing so, and kind of like the expectations that you have for yourself.
Yeah.
Out of this journey, and kind of like, I guess I also want to address like the stigma. Why do people think that folks who, whenever you hear people say like, "Hey, I'm gonna be celibate," folks like, "You're crazy." Like,
Yeah.
"Yo, man, I'm happy for you,"
Right.
but so like, why do you think society kind of looks at it like thinks that's a crazy thing to say nowadays? So we'll start off with, what's your reasoning behind doing so?
My reasoning. I have to be honest. My younger brother, Yusuf.
Shout out to you,
Right.
Yusuf.
Somewhat influenced this decision. Or, I mean, that's inspired it, so to speak. And I had a couple of conversations with him. I asked him, so what was the reasoning behind all of this? You making this decision to be celibate, and in so many words, the way he put it was that he was trying to center himself, right? And he felt like there were too many things going on in his life at the time. Yeah. And it wouldn't be smart to sort of involve a third party in that mess. So he decided, what, I need to. There are a lot of things in life that I need to deal with at the moment, and I think, I'll be better for it if I deal with this on my own without, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, everyone wants love, obviously. Everyone wants to have a life companion that they kind of do life with, I suppose. But it made sense when he told me. It made sense that okay, I think I want to do this. I think I'll come out of this on the other side a better man. Right? If I just take the time to work on myself. And so I thought about it, and I decided, what, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna see if this will be something that turn out to be beneficial for me. And besides that conversation with him, the fact that he decided to go on this journey, I myself was kind of dealing with the residual effects of dating at the time. I kind of went through a very quick succession of women, as you know, this year and last.
Ladies, slow down on talking to Malick, okay? Leave the man alone. All right? Y'all always reaching out to the. I mean, he's not out here playing nobody, but I'm like, God dang, man.
No, it was just like,
He's handsome, I get it. Slow down.
Nah. It's not like that. It's not like that. I swear.
Get that.
I'm sorry. I felt like I kind of lost sight of who I was during that time. Because part of being in a relationship means that you have to relinquish, in my opinion, part of who you are. Because there are sacrifices that need to be made, right? So every time you get into a relationship, there are certain things that you do. There are certain tendencies that you have, certain habits that are going to cause issues and problems, friction with the other party.
It's true.
And right, and it all comes down to, okay, how much give and take is there going to be there? Right? How much are you willing to sacrifice or relinquish? How much of yourself are you willing to change, to make this work? Right? And for some reason, I had this somewhat of a similar idea that I would abide by when I was younger. And in fact, when I was in college, I actually never dated anybody. Besides like the one girlfriend I had, like I did try to date some girls and it didn't work out for several different reasons. But besides the one or two women that I pursued in college.
Yeah.
Right. I never really, and the one girlfriend I had, like my last year, and you know, it was very short lived. I kind of mostly just kept to myself in college, and I remember having this discussion with a friend of mine, Rande, once. Shout out to Rande. She asked me, you know, why aren't you dating anybody? And I told her, well, you know, I feel like, you know, I don't know myself well enough to date anybody. You know.
Now that's like let's hone in on that real quick.
All right.
That's very profound. How old were you whenever you came to that conclusion?
I was probably 22.
20. Yo, we got niggas out here who's like 23 who don't even know up and down. You know what I mean? You got you at 22.
I mean,
coming to the realization like, yo, I shouldn't be fucking around dating anybody because I'm still trying to figure out who I am.
Right.
You know? So, wow, that's wild. That's wild. There's a lot of people in this world who think they will find themselves being in a relationship. And they're like, hey, if I get with somebody, they will complete me and they will help me find me.
That's a fallacy. I don't believe in that.
It's
I mean,
like,
people can believe in whatever they want to believe.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's true.
Right.
It's true. But I see it like this. If you were a person who's still trying to figure yourself out, you're like I don't know, fucking like you should get one of those cups out there. You're like a cup with holes poked in you, you know? And it's like, while you're trying to figure out who you are, trying to learn how to love yourself, anybody who puts love into you, man, that stuff is just falling straight through you.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not really going to know what you really care about, and you won't be able to give your 100% all until you know who you are.
That's a pretty good analogy.
You know? And so, like, first you got to find out who you are, and then you got to be accepting of who you are and love yourself. Yeah. And then, and only then, will you be able to fill your love tank up to where then it's like, oh, hey, I'm here. Now, I don't need nobody to love me.
Right.
I can love me, and I can accept me for who I am. Now I can find somebody who loves me for who I am.
Right.
And on the days they're not who they are, I have enough love to where I can pour some into you and replenish myself.
Right.
You know? Because, I mean, like, yo, if you depressed, or if you, oh, man, like, yo, that's a whole different subject. So I'm over here talking about, like, depression. We'll get back on celibacy. So, excuse me, people, just, you know, I'm preaching. So, you were telling your homegirl, she's asking me, like, why aren't you dating anybody? You come to the realization that I'm not doing it because I don't even know who I am yet. I'm trying to figure out who I am. At the age 22, mind you, it's a profound ass man. Keep on going, brother. Keep on going.
And so, you know, I obviously that changed because, you know, in the interim between then and now, you know, I did date quite a few women, right? But for some reason, I find myself now in a similar space, right? Because so much has happened to me in the last, pretty much the last 5 to 6 years, really. You know, between, you know, finishing school, grad school, you know, passing the bar, obviously, you know, living in Europe for you know, a considerable amount of time. Yeah. You know, falling in love for the first time in my life. Yeah. You know, falling out of love, which takes forever. Yeah. Apparently. Yeah. It does. It does, bro. It takes forever.
Yo, when you fall in love with somebody,
do you ever really fall out of love with somebody?
No, I don't think so. I think you will always have love for a person you have love for. Like, even if somebody abused you, man, to a high degree, like, you can't hate someone that you had love for. You can dislike someone. You can be like, hey, you know what? I know they're not good for me, but I can love you from over here. Like, I can distance myself from you. Right. And you'll have feelings like, because at some point you saw something good in that person. Right. And so, like, you know, from all the negative shit you can end up saying, you know, even in the situation that I'm in, like, there's things that I view that are negative. Yeah. But I also know that there's a myriad of things that I view that is positive about that person, you know? Right. And so it's like, you know, most people forget that. And they're like, oh, damn, this person did me wrong. They hurt me. They did this. They did this. And it's like, yo, you can focus on that. But at the end of the day, you can't hate somebody you got love for. Right. Like, that's silly. That will literally trivialize the feelings that you had for them initially. Like, you may come to a realization, hey, I love this person for the wrong reasons, but it's like your emotions are your emotions for a reason. Right. They're your subconscious. Like, your emotions are your subconscious talking to you. Right. Your subconscious mind acting on things that make you feel a certain way. Right. compared to your conscious mind. That's like the calculated thoughts that you make.
Right.
So it's like when you fall in love with somebody, it's not a calculated thought. You fall in love with somebody out of the emotion, and then you continue to love somebody through the action.
Right.
So like continual, like unconditional love is the action of loving someone.
Right.
Even not expecting anything in return. You know.
Right.
So like you go through those feelings. You love somebody. Oh, hey, I fell out of love with you. Okay, you fell out of that feeling. Fine. You're choosing not to. I won't even say you fell out of that feeling. Like, hey, I'm not in love with you anymore. That's kind of like you saying, I don't want to give you love anymore.
Right.
Like, I don't want to love you in the way that you need for you to feel cared about anymore. I want to do something different.
Right.
So, I won't preach on that shit, but
yeah.
So
that I kind of, I had an honest conversation with my pillow. That's what we say in Senegal. For those of you that are not familiar with this idiom, in Senegal, when you take some time to like sit down and really ponder about something, we call it, usually do it at night before you go to bed. You call it talking to your pillow.
Yeah.
So, and I realized, what, I really need to kind of take a step back from the dating world, the Tinders and the Bumbles and all of that, good stuff.
Yeah.
And really do some do a lot of self-reflection, and really focus my time and energy on some things that should, right now, in my opinion, be more important than, or at least take precedence to, dating and possibly finding love. Feel me? Yeah. It's still going to be in the back of my head. Like if I see, some like shorty with a fat booty that, tickles my fancy, I might make an exception. You know what I'm saying? I might make an exception. I'm just being real.
But if you a shorty with a nice booty, if you're a classy young lady, I mean, like, I'm pretty sure all of you are classy young ladies. So let me rephrase this. If you're a young lady who likes hearing about idioms of talking to your pillow, and a man who speaks French, because he speaks fluent French. Speak 4 languages?
Yeah.
He speaks 4 languages fluently. A matter of fact, this is the pitch Malick.
We gotta do a session in French.
Yo, I'm down for that, man. That's the only way I can get better. Only thing I know how to say in French is je suis long.
Je suis riche.
Oh shit! Je suis riche. Yeah. I'm rich.
You already know.
And I'm the man. Je suis long. All right. Anyway, we playing that.
Yeah. So those are my reasons for choosing celibacy. I'd be interested and intrigued to hear what other people's reasons are.
Yeah.
If any.
Yeah. So throwing in mine real quick. So I had a stint of celibacy as well before I got married. It was actually a good long time period. We mainly did it so we could focus on the respect that we have for each other, and I've kind of learned otherwise, in hindsight now, about doing celibacy for the sake of marriage. So I have my own opinions about it, but yeah, it was. I did learn a lot about myself, and I was very proud of the resilience that I had when we went through that. It was more than just like the act of not having sex. It was like not trying to sneak and watching porn and not trying to do this other stuff, man. Right. Because it's like you're trying to take the approach of like holistically looking at yourself and saying like, hey, these urges, I can have self-control. Right. And that's something I did get a chance to learn about myself. Because, working out, eating healthy, like those are ways that test your willpower. Right. But I don't believe anything in life can test a person's willpower more than sexual feelings.
Sex, not to cut you off, but sex is so integral to who we are.
Yeah.
We think about sex all the time.
All the time.
Almost everything that we do on a daily basis can really be, anchored to sex.
I want to hold that discussion because that's going to be a segment that we hold one day, to where we're going to go in on that specific. So I don't want you to go in too deep yet.
Yeah.
Because then we're giving away the juice. But we're going to conclude for a bit. Got to make sure we get some things back up. But whenever we come back, we're going to talk about the expectations you have for yourself going through this journey of celibacy. So stay tuned. We'll catch you cats in a bit.